Good morning, it's time for a Cup of Joe Comments Edition.
I want to be a cup of Joe, your first sip in the morning.
In response to my KonMari video, Lilia H says, the thing is though, does it have to be an ideology? Doesn't everyone take these ideas and then do it your own individual way that is just right for you? Yes, Lilia, I would completely agree with you. It doesn't have to be an ideology. Everyone can pick and choose the different ways of doing things to fit their own lives. All I'm trying to say is KonMari is not the same as minimalism. Not that she's even trying to say it is. I just realized it isn't. In response to my Getting Rid of 1,000 Things video, Thomas Jacobs says, great to get rid of all this stuff, but why did you own and hold this crap prior to this? Everything I own easily fits inside a small hatchback car. Well, Thomas Jacob, congratulations on fitting your stuff into a car. I was holding on to these things basically because I just hadn't questioned them or thought about them. We have what I consider to be a big house for a family of 5. With all kinds of nooks and crannies and closets and cabinets, and there just was like random things spread throughout, so that video really helped me find all the random crap and get rid of it. Kim Kelly says, hello, I am anti-abortion. Well, hello. However, over many years of this debate, I have almost never seen or hear the fathers addressed. A term I often hear is, a girl gets herself pregnant. What? I've never heard that. Talk to boys and men about sexual responsibility first, and then I will listen to anti-abortion arguments. I don't even remember, have I ever made a video about abortion? I don't know, I must have mentioned it. I don't... Okay, I do not understand. It starts off, hello, I'm anti-abortion, and ends with, talk about this and then I'll listen to your arguments are anti-abortion. So you're anti-abortion, but you won't listen to my arguments against abortion. Okay. Secondly, I have never heard the term a girl gets herself pregnant. Where do you live? Who says that? Maybe they don't know how, like, biology works, but a girl cannot really, by definition, get herself pregnant. That's just not how, it works. And lastly, I don't get why boys and men should be addressed when it comes to abortion, because as far as I know, a man cannot legally choose to force a woman he gets pregnant to either have an abortion or to not have an abortion. I'm pretty sure men have no say in the matter whatsoever, so why would you talk to men about abortion when they have no say? I am very confused by this comment, Kim. But I guess I don't need to convince you because you're already anti-abortion. Joe Ree says, I like your lifestyle and the ideas you promote on this channel. These things seem nice to go through as well. Well, thank you, Joe Ree. They are. But religion is still one of the creepiest things to me. Well, I can see why you'd think it's creepy, and if I thought God wasn't real, I would think religion is creepy too. Charlamara. Ooh, that's a fun name to say, assuming I'm saying it right. Charlamara says, I'm about to be baptized Orthodox, winky face. Perhaps you should consider that. Love your videos. Well, I do love the Orthodox Church, which is also known as Eastern Orthodox or Orthodox Catholic. They have abandoned the papacy, and I love me some Pope, so I'm sorry, but I cannot do that. Daisy Wings says, so fractions. Have you never cooked or baked or done any woodworking or measuring? Fractions. No, I haven't really ever cooked or baked anything more than spaghetti. I have definitely not done any woodworking. I've probably measured things. Okay, I've definitely measured things. And yes, these all involved fractions. It's not fractions themselves I hate. It's trying to add, multiply, do any of that crap with them. That's just the worst. And also the most useless. John Galt says, actually, I thought you're gay. Maybe seeing you naked with another guy in your videos helped reinforce that thought. The title of this video tells me you're gay too. I made a video about my thoughts on gay marriage at some point. That's what he's talking about. Okay, here's where it gets interesting. He says, if you want to understand why we have a marriage license, you have to look at the words. We all know what a marriage is, but I wouldn't limit it to people or even living objects. Okay. A license is permission by the government to engage in an activity that would otherwise be illegal. If you get a marriage license, then you admit that you want to legally engage in a criminal activity called marriage. Gays know what they're doing is a crime, which is why they want to get a license. Straight marriages are not illegal, so we should stop issuing straight marriage licenses. I personally am sexually attracted to my pet rock and have been happily married to it for 10 years now. I never asked for a marriage license because our marriage is perfectly legal. So this is something I never thought about before. Just to recap briefly, in my video I was saying that I'm not for gay marriage as far as institutionalized gay marriage. I think if anything, all marriages should be deinstitutionalized. I'm not going to get into that right now, but he's kind of agreeing with me, saying that a license is, when you have a license for something, it's for something that otherwise you would not be allowed to have. It'd be illegal. So like you have a license to carry a weapon or conceal a weapon or whatever, because if you don't do that, it's illegal to do that, which is kind of weird to think about marriage. Like if I get married, I mean, it's not treated the same, because if you get married without a license, it's not illegal, it's just not recognized. But that's just, I don't know. I'm gonna have to think about that. That is an interesting point. Then John goes on to comment on my video with my cousins about tattoos and says, prison trash marks are just that. Marks the government uses to identify prisoners. That, and they make you look like trash. When I see someone with a prison trash mark, I wonder if they've been to prison, or if they wish they've been to prison, or if they plan on going to prison. Now, I don't have any tattoos, but if I did get a tattoo, no, I would say I have not been to prison. I do not wish that I've been to prison, and I do not plan to go to prison. So why would I want to get a tattoo, or as John calls it, a prison trash mark? I think before prison started tattooing people for marks, I guess, which, do they do that? Or do they get tattoos when they're in prison to say, no, he said the government does it. Are you talking about the Holocaust? Does anyone do that besides the Nazis in the Holocaust? Either way, I'm pretty sure that tribal tattoos predate prison tattoos. And tribal tattoos are pretty freaking badass and very meaningful and symbolic and not trashy. So if I were to get a tattoo, I would be going more for the tribal end of it than for the prison trash mark. But hey, see things as you will. Free Spirit says, this resonates with me a lot. If I relied on keeping things that spark joy, I'd be left with my camera and maybe some wine. I am definitely more about function, purpose, and use. Amen, sister. Sister? Are you a sister? I don't have the pictures on here, so amen. Human. On my KonMari video, Fruity Kitchen said, very interesting arguments. I think practically, though, people's standards and expectations rise. So something might have sparked joy before, but no longer to their existing standards. It's a relative thing. One normally only thinks limited number of items spark joy to their current standard, instead of having thousands of items all sparking joy together. So I think this goes along with what I was saying. I would agree and say that, yes, people's standards change, which is why I think minimalism is about constantly reevaluating what you own, whereas KonMari says find your sweet spot and then just stop. Point number 2, also minimalism goes totally against the hoarding and hauling culture in the capitalistic world. So instead of promoting minimalism, people probably rather promote KonMari, get rid of the thousands of items, and continue buying. LOL, what do you think? I would agree with that as well. KonMari seems to more focus on having things that spark joy rather than getting rid of things, which is what some people like. But yeah, I think yeah, you're right. Yeah. Alice Chevalier. Alice says, OMG, those flip-flops. So I made a video talking about broken things and how to keep reusing them or when to get rid of them, and I showed my flip-flops, which I had worn to their deaths. I heard that it's unhealthy to use flip-flops for a really long time, that somehow you can get foot infection, and ever since I've been scared to use my old ones for much longer, but I mean, they are still very usable. What do you think about that? Okay, I had never heard this until that video that we're talking about where someone commented, get rid of the flip-flops, they're so bad for you, and I'm like, what? I looked it up, that from what I can see from the research, it looks like flip-flops are only really bad for you if you do a lot of walking with them. Which I guess that's what they're for. But if you walk long periods with them, you shouldn't go hiking in them or walking for miles or something. And you shouldn't run in them really. I mean, basically the main thing it looked like was that to keep them on your foot, your toes have to kind of keep clenching every time you step, which is what makes it bad for you. Also, they don't give much arch support, so you hit your heels on the ground a lot harder. That's called heeling, and if you go barefoot a lot or wear barefoot sandals or flip-flops or whatever, you should try not to heel. Which I haven't really gotten the hang of yet, but yeah. I like flip-flops because they allow me to go barefoot more. So when I'm at a public place or outside or something, I am much more likely to slip off the flip-flops and just go completely barefoot. So I wear flip-flops, but they're only like when I have to. Like if I'm in a store that's going to kick me out otherwise, or like something like that. Alice also commented on a video that I talked about makeup, and she says, I wonder what do you think about women shaving? I think it's so unfair that as a woman I feel like I have to hide my hair if I don't shave it, and would be horrified to walk out the door with hair visible to others. Yet men can be natural and go without getting people staring at them. I haven't been shaving for 2 years, and lately I've been feeling the urge to do it a little bit, and I'm feeling a bit weak and trying to escape society mocking me. Brownie face. Alice, I totally support you in not shaving. There is no reason that a woman can't have hairy armpits or hairy whatever, legs, anything. It doesn't, why? It's horrible. Body hair is not inherently masculine. It's inherently human. And it makes me so sad to think that when my girls hit puberty, they're going to think that society is telling them that women are only attractive and truly feminine if they shave off all their body hairs. Stupid. Moderately Minimalist says, off subject, but if you swapped out your round glasses for rectangular ones, you'd get way more subscribes from the ladies. Okay, is that true? Like, are these seriously... Is this what's keeping me from getting like millions of subscribers? I will switch. If that's the case, I will switch to square frames in a heartbeat. But I need to see some more research or evidence. I don't know. Support your claim. Pre-Down says, Wowee, this is the first video of yours that I feel you are very not happy. You feel and sound lost. I'm only halfway through watching, but you definitely aren't yourself in this one. And I definitely understand why. No studio space, that pile of clothes, OMG, is not even a neat, tidy pile. Very true. Ground yourself again, and I'm sure you'll feel much better. Smiley face. Ding! Crew Down, you are right. I was not very happy in that video. And I'm still not happy about that pile of clothes, even though I put them all into nice little boxes. I'm still trapped here with all of those clothes because Erin's still out of state, so I can't deal with them until she comes back and we go through it together and figure it out. So until then, it's gonna be bugging me. Okay, so this just in. If you recall, if you saw my video with the cardinal, there was a bird just trying to, kept pecking at the window. It does it like on the daily. Every day that thing's just trying to get in. Or so I thought. But Sarah M says, the cardinal is trying to fight with its reflection. It may be mating season and he thinks his reflection is another bird trying to claim his territory. That happens over here all the time. Well, that explains it. He's not trying to get through the window, he's trying to make out with it or kill it. Maybe I just need to go and start banging on the window when it's doing that, like fight back, you know. Thank you, Sarah, for solving that mystery. Rebecca Christopher says, I feel like such a big, more valuable part of minimalism is internal. I found more peace when I minimized what was mine to own on the inside. What I was in charge of, what I could control, nothing. And finally, the emotional attachment to the need for control. That is the ultimate minimalism, I feel. Well, Rebecca, I feel the same. It reminds me of, I recently saw the movie A Serious Man. And it opens with a quote, which is receive with simplicity everything that happens to you. And that is just like, oh my gosh, that's so perfect. That's so awesome. And I've been thinking about it ever since I saw the movie. Just receive it all simply. Just everything that happens to you, just breathe in, breathe out, and let it go. Except for the fact that those clothes didn't happen to me. I happened to do it to myself. Fruity Kitchen says, did you sing that Cup of Joe song, LOL? No, I certainly did not. I am not that good of a singer. The Cup of Joe song is called The Cup of Joe. It's by Daniel Ho. I put it in the credits of every Cup of Joe video, but apparently people do not always stay through to the credits. Frank Martin says, I've always thought it's a sign of his true confidence in his masculinity for a guy to be able to wear pink. We seem to have forgotten that the color association has flipped during the past 100 years. It used to be that boys wore pink because it was associated with royalty, and girls wore blue because of its association with the Virgin Mary. That is true. Which makes me wonder, do I hate the color pink because I have been socialized to hate it? Not that boys have to hate it, but I don't know. I really do not like the color pink. Which is kind of funny because there's tons of pink things in my house with 2 little girls, but ugh, pink. it just seems like, I don't know, not cool. But if I'd been born 100 years ago, I would have been wearing pink like all the time.
Cup of Joe.
Well, that is it for today's Q&A. If you have any other questions you'd like to ask me about, feel free to put them in the comments below. And this has been your Cup of Joe.
I want to be a cup of Joe. The first sip in the morning. You get your going ritual and what we sow from within.
I love you, bye.